Let me ask you a question because having come from the academy, we almost never talk about love
Yeah.
and personal growth.
Yeah.
A lot of sociology from the last 100 years has been about the years of people between 28 and 40 when they're political actors. You read a play like King Lear and you realize people are children all the way into their 70s until their daughters or their children teach them how to grow up, which is Shakespeare's obsession for the last half of his life. But I was just kind of gobsmacked when Jerry said, actually, I think the plays are about love. It is very hard to talk about the transformative power of love and inner growth right now because the pressures are so intense. It's like magmatic pressure that's turning our society into it's a cauldron, right? And we're going through something that is necessary, I think. But what is it that makes it possible for you to think about love as something that could transform human beings, and these plays are the place to look?
Well, I'll tell you, I felt it in reading Romeo and Juliet in particular. When Romeo's in the garden, he's heard Juliet proclaim her love, and then Romeo says, "Hey, let me hear that again." And she says, "Oh, my bounty is as boundless as the sea." And she gives that little speech. And to me, at that point, she commits, right? She says it for the first time without commitment. Hamlet asks for it, and then she has to give the commitment. This girl is committing to defy her father, defy everything that she's been groomed to do, defy the prince who she's supposed to marry, to be and choose the enemy of her family to be partnered with. It is love that she feels that gives her the information about herself that she can make the decision. And I think that is what is interesting about love, is that love is, as a medium, transforms information about yourself. And I'll give you an example. One of my teachers said to me, and it was hard to understand, she said, love or affection is the highest form of intelligence. And she said, think about the mother that feels the kid's about to fall off the couch in the next room. It's love that gives her the intuition to be smart enough to know to go save the kid from falling. It's love that gave Juliet and maybe for the first time in her life, she's so young, to make the decision of who she is. She, in that moment, I believe she knows who she is for the first time. And she makes the decision and there's no going back.
It's like the sonar signal that comes back at you and tells you where you are, who you are. In a world where, you used examples of women, so in a world where men are soldiers, warriors, situations, worlds of true peril. I mean, the court of Stalin, the world around Stalin, the world around Claudius. How is love possible as a transformative power, specifically for men? Because it seems like part of what you're saying is that it's the emotional intelligence that creates all of us, but is it, how do you take that and put it up against really the weaponization of the faculties and the smarts and the skepticism that keeps all these men alive? How is that type of journey and transformation possible? And how does Shakespeare speak to that?
Well, I think, I always think about life and death circumstances. More often than not, with someone on death's door, the final things they say, are revolving around love. That there's this moment.
You gotta wait till you're almost dead.
I know. Well, that's I think the peril and part of the tragedy of it, of those who do not live in that place. That revelation comes when they wish that it had come years prior, and
David Brooks made a very good dichotomy between resume values and eulogy values, okay? And it's very interesting. At a eulogy, you don't go through the resume, all right? You talk about what Brian is talking about here. You're talking about love and relationships.
Well, and I find, especially in the romance plays, we talked a little bit about this today, like inside of love is also these other things that become transcendent. Forgiveness. People who make really, really huge, giant mistakes are given a second chance and they are forgiven. That is an act of love. that act of love, that element of forgiveness, launches them, becomes transcendent for them. And I think in the Elizabethan period, a lot of that was almost kind of a next to godliness type of thing, because it was like the idea that is a very hard thing to conceptualize, I think, in our modern world. The idea of, you know what, I forgive you, and we're going to move on in a new form is very hard. We have
Pure
Doesn't
grace.
Shakespeare
it is grace personified.
doesn't Shakespeare say that the quality of mercy is twice blessed? It blesses those that giveth and those that receiveth. I also think the speech Henry V is about love. He's motivating his band of brothers to be this band of brothers against incredible odds, and to look around and to feel love for each other, to be in this battle together, and to know that the outcome, you look around and some of your brothers will be dead. The odds are you might be dead. But that you at that moment, through the power of love for each other, are willing to go forth under this king. And that's the leadership quality that Henry V brings to me. He utilizes love of mankind, love of the family, of the group, of the arm, of each other, to go forward, that we're in this together.